Yesterday, I walked 100,000 steps around Atlanta in one day. Here's how it went and what I learned. I woke up at 2:55 a.m. and was absolutely wired, but it was a cold front and I felt a little nervous about walking in the dark alone, so I allowed myself to walk the first 10,000 steps in my Airbnb before venturing outside. This allowed me to test the accuracy of my pedometer and also to knit myself an ascot to keep my neck warm. Once the sun was up, I truly felt excited. I had never taken the Beltline before, but that's a really enjoyable path. Atlanta is so rich in murals and color and interesting things to see. There were so many small, delightful moments. I don't necessarily recommend walking 100,000 steps, but I do recommend setting a day aside for walking and having no agenda other than to see what you notice and enjoy it. There were so many pleasant micro experiences of things going right, you know what I mean? Knowing a city better by walking through it can help you love it more. I keep a ranking of downtowns on my phone, and Atlanta had been a 7 out of 10, but now I'm definitely bumping it up to an 8.5 at least. Atlanta's really rich in parks, and walking from neighborhood to neighborhood or even all the way to the city of Decatur was a test in connectivity. I did try to take new paths and not retrace my steps so I could see as many areas and neighborhoods as possible. I found a map of the different neighborhoods the day before, and as far as I can tell, I think I walked through 16. They all have their own distinct vibes and seem to have a lot of neighborhood pride. If you do a walk like this, I recommend changing socks every 25,000 steps. I'm wary to give advice because I'm not a doctor, but I will say that I don't usually feel better after taking a break, and it's best to keep going and not sit too much. Another tricky part is keeping your phone charged, especially if you're running apps like Strava or taking video. I wish outlets were more accessible everywhere for everyone. I felt so lucky to be doing this journey in peak autumn. The ginkgo especially couldn't have been more ideal. They tend to all fall right after the first cold snap, so that's a perk to the unexpected chilly weather. I had a late lunch at Chick-fil-A, but honestly, it was kind of hard to eat when doing this challenge, and I felt really nauseous after. I used my NARM pass to get into the High Museum, and I found some art that was particularly compelling. The High is one of the most respected museums in the Southeast, and I love the variety of art that they have on display there. What surprised me was how much I liked the current exhibition of Victor and Rolf. Then I wandered Midtown for quite a while. The whole reason I do 100,000 steps is because it's one of the fastest and cheapest ways to build my education and resume. I did this challenge in Chattanooga in the spring and in Boston in the summer, so I promised myself I would walk 100,000 steps in one day around a different city once per season this year. Cities are ecosystems, and I'm sort of endlessly curious about how people interact with each other and with their environment. It's the very stuff of life, so I want to know what flourishing looks like and how we can get there for the most people possible. I stopped by the Sweet Auburn Bakery to see Windsor, who I met last time I came to Atlanta. He charged my phone and gave me hot chocolate and was so hospitable. Little interactions like that fill me with so much joy, and you tend to get to encounter a lot of them when you take a really long walk. Some neighborhoods like Cabbagetown seem to have a lot of green flags and be really livable. I love seeing duplexes and multifamily housing so more people can live in that space, which makes the neighborhood better. There's a lot to lament about all the highways and the racism-fueled choices that decimated neighborhoods and is continuing to hurt a lot of people, but I love this city more than I ever have and see a lot of hope here. I finally reached 100,000 steps at 9:50 p.m., maxed out my pedometer, and I was so tired I didn't even eat the food I bought for my victory dinner. It was an awesome time and I learned a lot. Thanks for following along.